Hallo und herzlich willkommen zurück zu Lamplight City. Wir wollten ja den Wasserkocher hier.
Miles, what are you doing? You don't know the first thing about steam engine repair.
It can't be that hard to work out.
If you're serious about getting it fixed, I'd suggest looking for someone who knows about this sort of thing first. But if you just want to charge in blindly, be my guest.
Okay. Okay. Ich habe keine Ahnung, was ich mache. Aber ich hoffe mal, ich kriege es hin. Okay.
The water's boiling now. I sure hope you know what you're doing, Miles.
Es sieht momentan ja gut aus.
Well, color me impressed. You're either extremely lucky, or you've done this sort of thing before.
Oh, ye of little faith.
So ein bisschen.
Yes? What is it?
I fixed the boiler for you.
What? Are you serious? It's pretty pathetic when some yahoo off the street does a better job than the people paid to do this sort of thing. I owe you, friend.
Might I take you up on that offer and get that spare key to the apartment?
Oh, right. You said you were a private detective, didn't you? Did Mrs. Walker do something wrong? Is she in trouble?
I'm not entirely sure yet, which is why I need to take a look inside her apartment.
I see. Well, I wouldn't normally do this, but you did me a great service by fixing the boiler. I can't just give you the spare key, but I can let you into the apartment.
That'll be just fine. Thank you.
What in the ether?
Cripes, did a tornado come through this place or what?
Looks as though she definitely left in a hurry. I wonder if she planned on ever coming back.
I'll be waiting for you in the kitchen, Mr. Fordham. Just let me know when you're done looking around.
Ich bezweifle, dass sie zurückkommt.
There's a handwritten note here. Valerian mixed with chamomile, sedative effects, deep sleep.
Seems Mrs. Walker's an amateur herbalist.
Maybe not so amateur. I'd love to see the look on Mrs. Davis's face if she knew it wasn't a spirit that possessed her. In fact, let's go tell her, so I can see it.
You've gotten fairly misanthropic in your death, Bill.
Have I? I hadn't noticed.
Okay.
I don't know about you, but I'm starting to have my fill of plants and flowers. Torn apart. She took most everything, though it doesn't appear she had much to take. And the books she left behind are all trashy romance novels. Why wouldn't she take those? They're clearly the best ones. I thought my apartment was messy.
Da können wir uns noch mal ein bisschen genauer umgucken.
You're actually gonna dig through that mess? I sure hope it's worth it. A receipt with yesterday's date. One-way train ticket to Pierre in Lorraine. Departed this afternoon.
Thought she could get away easy, it seems. Well, I hate to disappoint her.
Okay. Wir finden also
A receipt with...
schon viele Hinweise dafür.
Well, at least that painting cheers the place up a little bit. That bit of torn wallpaper looks almost deliberate. Nice patterns. I wonder if Linda makes all her own clothes.
Maybe.
It's a boy. Can't be more than 7 or 8 years old. If that's Linda's son, why would she leave this behind?
Good question.
What do you know? She hid a book behind the wallpaper. Looks like a journal.
5. April, ich kann es einfach nicht glauben, kann es sein? Beim Treffen heute Abend habe ich eine Unterhaltung mit Henrietta eingefädelt. Charles Harris ist am selben Tag geboren worden, an dem Alexander gestorben ist. Er hat auch noch blaue Augen. Ich weiß dass ich da nicht vorschnelle Schlüsse ziehen sollte, aber das passt einfach zu genau, um Zufall zu sein. Um es zu überprüfen, musste ich irgendwas von Alexander finden, um ein Kleinkind passendes. Sein alter Bär? 20. April. Charles mag Barney, und zwar sehr. Henrietta hat mir erzählt, dass die noch nie erlebt hat, dass er mit solcher Freude auf einen seiner anderen Spielzeuge reagiert hat. Ich bin fest überzeugt. Charles Harris ist die Reinkarnation meines geliebten Alexander. Endlich können wir wieder zusammen sein. Endlich kann ich ihn um Vergebung bitten. Ich muss nur einen Weg finden, um seinen falschen Eltern zu entwenden, ohne dass die arme Henrietta Schwierigkeiten bekommt. 24. August. Letzte Nacht hatte ich wieder den Albtraum. Alexanders Schrei. Weshalb hast du das getan, Mutter? War beinahe unerträglich. Wenn er wieder bei mir ist, kann ich endlich erklären, dass ich nichts tun konnte, um ihn aufzuhalten. Thomas war ein Monster und ich war am Ende meiner Kräfte. Samuel hatte mir so sehr geholfen und es gab einfach kein Zurück mehr, nachdem er vom Kuchen gegessen hatte. Wie konnte ich ahnen, dass Alexanders Freund krank werden würde und dass er früher nach Hause käme? Dabei zuzusehen, wie mein Sohn das vergiftete Mahl mit seinem Vater teilte, war das Schlimmste, was in meinem Leben je passiert ist. Ich musste zurückhalten. 6. Oktober, endlich! Nach Monaten intensives Nachdenkens habe ich einen Plan. Samuels Belehrungen über das Wesen der Pflanzen waren der Schlüssel. Ich werde Henrietta heute Nacht im Harris-Anwesen besuchen und werde alles vorbereiten. Ich muss so aussehen, als wäre ein Einbrecher in die Kinderstube eingebrochen und als habe er dabei seinen Mantel zerrissen. 2 Nächte noch. Ich habe mein Baby zurück. Okay.
Well, this is pretty damn incriminating.
I'll say. Now we just need to figure out how she managed to drug Mrs. Davis.
Oh, we've got you now, Linda. Thought you could be clever and get away with the baby, did you?
Bill?
Well, you thought wrong. With Fordham and Leger on the case, the only thing you're getting is a one-way trip to jail.
Bill?
And the worst part is how sloppy she was. I mean, really? She couldn't think to pick up a button? She might as well have left a signed confession in the crib for all the good it did her.
Bill, would you just shut up, for God's sake?
Huh? Is everything all right?
Yes, everything's just fine. I just stubbed my toe on the bed frame.
You ought to be more careful, Mr. Fordham.
Sorry, Miles. You know how I get when we're close to solving a case.
You always do this. I need to concentrate, and I can't hear myself think with you yapping away.
Right, sorry. I'll keep it to myself.
Thank you.
But you have to admit, she really would have saved us the trouble if...
Bill.
Right. Not another peep. As you were.
Okay. Ja, tendenziell... Was? Return to Upton and accuse Arthur Devons. Warum? Ich sollte theoretisch Linda schon accusen können. Selbe. Nochmal.
Torn up.
Wir haben die Pflanzen und die
These will make
Aufzeichnungen
great
hier.
evidence in Linda's trial. I don't know about you, but I'm starting...
Deswegen...
A fairly recent model. Linda must have spent a good portion of her wages on it.
Ich weiß nicht, was wir noch belastenderes haben oder finden könnten als das Ticket und generell. Ich glaube nicht, dass hier noch irgendwas anderes ist. Ja.
I hope you were able to find out what you needed.
Yes, thank you for your cooperation.
Hello again, Mr. Fordham.
My mother had a pewter teapot.
I have some questions for you, Mrs. Davis.
All right.
Mrs. Davis, where did you get the tea you drank on the night of the kidnapping?
From my own private supply, I drink a blend of hibiscus and elderberry. It clears the mind and puts me more in tune with the spirits.
Did it taste off to you?
No. Why do you ask?
Because I think your tea may have been drugged.
Wait, are you saying
I believe Mrs. Walker used her own herbs to drug your tea, knowing you'd drink a cup the following evening. She then snuck into the house after you'd fallen asleep and took the child.
Oh, my word, I never would have thought.
I know, Mrs. Davis. But don't worry, I'm doing everything I can to find her.
Oh, may the spirits guide you, Mr. Fordham.
Thank you for your time, Mrs. Davis.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Well, I'd say we have everything we need to prove it was Linda who drugged Mrs. Davis's tea and took the child. And we know where she's going, too. Upton will want to know about this as soon as possible.
Gut. Das reicht mir tatsächlich, um Linda zu überführen. Wir schließen den Fall.
Can we talk?
Go on, I'm listening.
I'm ready to wrap this case up.
Okay, who's your prime suspect?
It was Linda Walker,
Who is she?
a seamstress who befriended the Harris family nanny. She took the child because she believes he's the reincarnation of her deceased son, whom she accidentally poisoned.
My God.
You'll find a journal explaining her motive at her apartment, as well as the plants she used to drug Mrs. Davis.
But what about the broken window in the nursery?
All part of a false crime scene she set up to draw our attention away from her.
Excellent work, Miles. Did you manage to find out where Mrs. Walker is now?
Yes, I found a receipt for a one-way train ticket to Pierre, which departed this afternoon.
Fantastic. We can send a telegram to the train station and have her arrested upon arrival. You've done extremely well, Fordham. Snelling could only hope to have a detective as good as you again.
You flatter me.
Then I'd better stop before your head gets any bigger. All right, Miles. I'll go through the proper channels and report your information as an anonymous tip. And of course, I'll dip into the department's Good Samaritan fund to get you proper compensation for your work. For now, go home to your wife. I'm sure I'll have something else for you to look into fairly soon.
Welcome to Lorraine. An awfully cute baby you got there.
Oh, thank you, sir. This is my son, Alexander.
Alexander. That's a good name. Strong name.
Yes, thank you. I don't mean to be rude, but I'm in a bit of a hurry and I need to get to my hotel.
Of course. I won't keep you any longer, Mrs. Walker.
Thank you. Wait. How did you know my name?
I didn't. It was a lucky guess. But now, seeing as I know your name, allow me to tell you mine. I'm Sheriff Zeke Dollarhide. Linda Walker, you are under arrest for the kidnapping of Charles Harris. Surrender the child and come with me.
No, you've got it all wrong. This is my son. This is my Alexander.
Ma'am, please don't make this difficult. Come along to the station and we'll get this all sorted out.
Wir haben gute Arbeit geleistet.
Addie, are you home?
Still at her appointment, it would seem. You know, Miles, I have to say, I'm proud of you.
Why's that?
It's because you actually listened.
So does this mean you'll keep quiet until morning?
I said I was proud of you. I didn't say you were getting a reprieve.
Then I need to figure out how I'm going to sleep through the night without the soporific.
You worry about that too much, Miles. You can sleep when you're dead.
You don't ever seem to.
That's because I slept quite enough when I was alive.
In any case, I need to clear my head. The best way to do that after a case was always going for a drink at the Angel.
The Angel? But you haven't been there since...
Since you died. But perhaps getting back into old routines will help.
Perhaps. It would be nice to see old Patrick again at the very least. Then it's settled. A drink or two at the Angel, for old time's sake.
I have to say, it's been a real pleasure having you back, Miles. I was worried about you.
I appreciate your concern, Patrick. The past few months have been a bit rough, but it's good to be back in familiar territory.
Miles, can I ask you something?
What is it?
Well, it may be none of my business, and you can feel free to tell me to stuff it.
Enough with the preamble, Patrick. Just ask.
I know you quit the force, but why are you still working as a private investigator? Why not leave all that detecting stuff behind?
It's all I know. My grandfather was a cop, my father was a cop, so I became a cop. That's just how it went.
Oh, I hear ya. I come from 3 generations of butchers myself, but I broke the streak because I can't handle the sight of blood.
If only that had been true in my case.
Now then, will you be wanting another drink?
I'm not sure. I've already had 2. I should probably be getting... Wait a minute. Patrick, do you hear something?
No, Miles. I don't hear anything.
Neither do I. Another gin, if you please.
Coming right up.
I must have taken a wrong turn back there. Hopefully Addie won't hear me come in.
Hat sich zu Hause verlaufen.
Excuse me, sir. Could you spare a shilling?
Here you are, my good man.
You always were willing to help the less fortunate, weren't you? But perhaps you should start thinking about helping yourself.
I beg your pardon?
Just look at yourself. I may be a beggar, but even I feel sorry for you.
Your voice. I've heard it before.
Yes, that's right. I'm your biggest failure.
What are you talking about?
Come now, Miles, you're not completely stupid. You think finding and catching me is going to make things better?
I don't know. It might not, but at least I'll have closure.
Again with the lying to yourself. Let's say you do find me, and this grand chase finally ends. What do you do the next morning? You still have a dead partner, no real job. Your wife knows you've been keeping things from her. Even if you solve 100 cases, it won't relieve that empty feeling inside.
What's your point?
I'm all you've got, Miles. Once I'm gone, there'll be nothing left. So just admit it. You don't want to find me. Not really.
Bad dreams?
You could say that. My head. How many drinks did I have last night?
You're asking the wrong person. I was out after the first one.
It seems Miss Maxwell was right about the effects of spirits. Go figure.
Yeah, well, let's not make a habit out of it, all right?
Okay, ja, damit haben wir Fall 2 offiziell gelöst. Ich bedanke mich fürs Zusehen und wir sehen uns dann bei Fall Nummer 3. Ciao, ciao!